Sorry guys. So next, I have trained 10 plus batches in outside organization as well. Outside organization as well, like how I am taking the session now. The same way I have trained many people. So SQL and PLSQL real-time training. So what you are going to get this training? What are the key highlights of this training? So in this training, you will get, it's a real-time practical training session. It's a not a theoretical session. It will be end to end on the practical only. So if you are getting any single word from my mouth, it will be the practical. So a practical in the sense every day we used to take multiple scenarios for each topic. We used to discuss about the topic, and for each topic we used to take multiple scenarios, and we are going to work on that scenarios. What is that? So everything will be executed in the session. Executed the commands and explain you how we are going to what is the topic. If you are doing like this, what you are going to get, how you have to write the queries effectively from complex queries and all. We have to write it in real time perspective. So how we have to write the effective complex queries, everything will be discussed. So next, so you will get the experienced trainer. Next, basic to expert level. Basic to expert level. So if you are a not computer background, like if you are like agriculture or triple E or some civil, some BCom, everything, that's not matter. So you no need to worry. So the training is designed like who doesn't know anything related to the computer, they can easily join the session. So we used to discuss from the scratch. We used to discuss from the scratch. Scratch in the sense what is data, why database is required. From there we can discuss, and then we can develop one by one. Like why database is required, what is data, after requisition what and all parameters you require, how you need to proceed further. So these all things can be discussed. So if you are not computer background also, that's not a problem. So the thing is, whatever we are going to discuss on daily basis, you should practice. That's it. So you no need to worry if you are not a computer background or you doesn't have any background on programming level. That is not at all needed. So you just, it's a SQL language is a like English statements. Whatever we are giving the commands or everything, it will be like general English statements. So from basic to what you are going to get at end of this training. So from day you will become as expert level. So you can return your complex queries. You can crack your interviews. You are no need to depending on anyone. So everything is a live sessions and recorded sessions. So we provide the live sessions. For every session, it will be recorded and it will be provided to you. So even you can go through the after session and you can practice it. If you are any doubts, you can discuss in our WhatsApp group. So we will create one WhatsApp group. After all, after the enrollment people, we can discuss about. We will discuss in WhatsApp group if you are any doubts. Next, real-time examples. So whatever I faced in my during experience, so what and all complexities I have faced, where I have stuck, what I learned. With the real-time examples, we can discuss every session, how it will be in real time. So how you need to proceed it, how you need to achieve that requirement, and how you need to build the code. So everything will be discussed. Everything is a real-time examples. Whatever I have experienced in my during my employment, we will discuss everything. Next, daily assignments. For every session, we will provide the assignments. So you have to work on that assignment. So after we provided the recorded session, you can go through one more time. Then again you can work on the session and you can work on the daily assignments. Next, weekly QA session assignments. So for every week there will be a 7 days, right? So we used to take all 5 days in a weekly, and weekend we used to take 1 day. In 1 day off. Total 6 days is the session for the week. So in weekend, what we used to take, we will take as a longer session, around 2 to 2.5 hours. Within this session, we will discuss about all whole week. If we have any doubts, whatever we have been discussed in that session, I mean in that week, we can have a QA session on that, and as well as we will discuss all assignments which we have given on the daily basis. For example, today we have given assignment, we are not going to discuss on tomorrow, because if we discuss on tomorrow, the next day session, half of the session, it may take. So by that time, it's very difficult to complete another topics, and every session it will be half of topics. That is not good. That's the reason we design like the all assignments and all doubts will be taken on the doubts in the just normal doubts. We can take it in offline in class as well. If we have further doubts, those all the things will be discussed on the and weekend, and we will have a session on that around 2 to 2.5 hours as a longer session. In between that, we will have a 15 minutes break. Next, so Oracle software. The software is available in open source. Oracle software is from now it is 19C. So from 12 version, it will be a cloud, autonomous cloud. 12 After 12 directly they have introduced 18 version, then 19 version, then 19 version. So now it is in 19 version, but still organizations are using 11G version only. Now they are trying to upgrade it to 12C. Now they are trying to upgrade into the cloud 12C. It will take another 1 or 2 years to complete this process. Still people are working in the 11G. So even my project, we worked on this 11G version only. So now the organizations are decided to move into the cloud areas. From 12 it is a cloud. So we will discuss what is the features of 12C as well. So everything we will discuss during our sessions. What is 11G, what is 12C, what and all features they have been added. Next. So after this complete, we will discuss everything like in our sessions from basic to expert level. We will write a queries. The program we will write around 30 to 40 lines as well. In PLSQL, in normal SQL, we will write complexity of joins, complexity of subqueries, complexity of views, complexity of constraints, everything we will discuss. Next, everything 100% practical live sessions. As I said before, everything is a practical. We will discuss, we will execute the queries, we will make you to write your own complex queries. We will discuss many examples during the session. Real-time interview questions. I am the interview panelist, so I knew what and are interview questions they can ask. So we provide interview questions for each. While I am explaining the session itself, I can tell you this is the interview question. So you no need to think about other questions. Whatever I will tell during the session, this is the interview question. So you should remember that. Definitely they may ask that question. So in every topic, there will be a set of interview questions, right? So during my session itself, I will tell this is the interview question. And I used to explain the topic 2-3 times. Whatever those topics are very, very important. So real-time interview questions will be provided. Next, support resume preparation and interview perspective. So some people, they doesn't have any experience. They used to put some 3+ experience. They wanted to, they might have having the experience in other industries. They wanted to move into the IT. So for those people already who has been working, those knows already. If they needed the support to prepare the resume in your RQL and SQL SQL, we will provide the resumes and we will support you on that. How you have to build that resume and how you need to upload, how you need to interact with the recruiters to get the interview calls. We will discuss on that. Next, crack interview with the 3+ experience. So this, at the end of this training, you are going to get like 3+ years to 4+ years of experience. You can aptly, you can put your 3 to 4+ years of experience in Oracle, SQL and PLSQL, and you can able to crack interview your own. You no need any proxy, you no need any support. Like that way we have designed the training. You can own, you can crack the interviews. Next, project explanation. Project explanation in the sense, how we will get the requirement from the client, what needs to be done after you have to get the requirement, how you need to analyze that requirement, how you have to prepare the L&D document, then how you have to design and how you have to develop the code for that requirement, how you need to perform the UAT testing, then how you need to move that into the QA side. After moving to the QA, what needs to be taken care to move into the production. Everything we will discuss in the real time. How we are actually we are doing in our day-to-day life as an employee for this technology. If you have any doubts, I will be taken up those doubts in last 10 minutes of the session. 10 minutes of the session. So you can keep your doubts with you so that the class won't disturb during the session. We will discuss those things in the last at the end of the session. Okay. Next. So what we are going to discuss in this training. This is the curriculum. So initially we will discuss about the introduction to this Oracle DBMS and RDBMSs. Next, what are the sub languages? We have SQL commands. Those are called sub languages. DML, DCL, DRL, TCL, as well as there are predefined data types is there, and comparison operators, where clause, arithmetic operations, set operators, DML, DQL, DRL, DCL, DDL statements, then operator precedence. How this operator set has to be followed. Then after that there are functions. One is user defined function, another one is the built-in functions. These are the built-in functions. We will discuss about the user defined function in PLSQL. SQL we will discuss about the functions. Okay. Next, grouping result of queries. Group by class, order by class we can discuss. Group by class, order by class we will discuss. Next, constraint concept. This is the constraint. How we have to build our own rules on the database. By using constraints and triggers, we can build the set of rules. Those topics we can discuss. Primary key, foreign key, check, ref constraint, how you need to add the constraint, how you need to disable the constraints. So these all the things can be discussed in the constraint concept. Next, joins. It's very, very important. Joins. So there are set of joins are there. Left, right, full outer, full join, natural join, ANSI joins. So these all the things can be discussed in the joins concept. Next, subqueries we can discuss. So the query, within query, how we have to write. So sometimes we have to write multiple queries by using depending on other queries to achieve our requirement. Those can be discussed in the subqueries concepts. Next, set operators. How we have to get comparing by two tables or multiple tables. How you need to combine the tables, how you need to compare data and retrieve the data from, retrieve in the sense fetching the data from the database, selecting the data or reading the data, everything is the same. So by using the set operators, we can discuss those things. Next, views. If you want to put some set of restrictions to the users and you don't want allow to other users to access the database directly, so those things can be discussed in the views. Next is sequence. Sequence, you know, right? Like a order, like one, three, like that. Next is we can discuss DCL and TCL commands in effective way, advanced way. Next, indexes and clusters. Next, pseudo columns. So there are row num, row ID level. Next, see, there are some other features. These are very important. These are the grouping functions, group by roll of cube, conversion function, decode and case. We write many queries in our day-to-day responsibilities by using this decode, case, and analytical functions, rank, density rank, row number. These are very important. The interview questions also will be asked. And the CTE or with the class. This is also very important. And the pivot and unpivot, regular expressions. These are, we will discuss for the advanced concepts. We can discuss those things. Next, partitions and parallel process. How we have to do the partitions by existing tables, those can be discussed. How we need to build the logs. So one, if you are like, for example, there is a door, the door for any, there is a door for the room. The door can allow only one person at a time. The space is only one person at a time can go inside the home, inside the room. So if you are two people trying to go at a time, so there will be a class, right? No one can allow to enter. So that is called deadlock. Deadlock. So how we need to, for example, the table is having permissions for me and some other. When I am updating or when I am doing some transaction on the table, other users cannot perform those transactions. If they perform, the transaction might class. So that is implemented by locks. We can discuss in the locks how we need to avoid this deadlock. Next is SQL loader. Once we receive the data from the upstreams, how you need to push the data into the database. These are the whole curriculum and context. These all are the topics we are going to discuss in the SQL. After SQL, we can discuss about the PLSQL. PLSQL is introduction to the PLSQL and the control statements. I mean, if statement, while, these all are the things. Then loops, then triggers, then cursors, then collections, then types, then packages, then procedures. These all the things will be there in the PLSQL. Okay, these all are things we are going to discuss in our training. Next, coming to the subjective perspective now. Why database is required in our day-to-day life? Why database is required? I can say we are living in the database world. We are living in the database world. Everything should be captured, anything should be captured in our database, in our day-to-day life. Let us take one example. Either it is a SBI, if you take in banking sector, either it is SBI or HDFC, any other bank. Let us take one SBI, State Bank of India. So if you think that SBI, State Bank of India, what the services they are providing? They are providing to the public. They can do the transaction. I mean, they can save their fund into the bank. I mean, banking, their account. They can withdraw whenever they need. So they are providing to the public service. They can say safely. They can save their fund into their fund in account in the bank. Whenever they need, they can withdraw. Whenever they need, they can transfer to someone. The same way they will provide other services as well, loans, some different services they will provide. So the customer can the same name, for example, name as a John. The same name can have multiple customers. Same address can have multiple customers. So how they will identify the customer? They will identify some unique ID to the customer for every customer. The unique ID here, how they used to follow? By using the account ID. Account ID. In earlier days, before this database, the banking sector or any sector, they used to follow the some flat files. Flat files is nothing but a text files or else text files or else some CSV Excel files. CSV Excel files. How they used to follow? By using some by using comma separated files in earlier days. So for example, first name, date of birth, then address. Like this, they used to maintain this is called fields or attributes or columns. We can discuss fields or attributes or columns, everything is the same. We can discuss in one by one feature in depth. So how they used to follow, for example, John, some date of birth, some other something they have given 1980s. Address, some address they have given. The same way, same next, some another 1981, some address. So here you are having only two records, two rows for two customer details we have. We can happily read this one. And day by day, the banking sector is introduced around in olden days of British column itself. When they are ruled British, by the time 1840s, it has been introduced. From there, they have to maintain the account holder details, right? So day by day, what will become? The data might will increase. Let's assume that we have some 1 million records. So one customer is came to the bank, he wanted to update his phone number, or he wanted to update his address. Can we, when the rows will become like 1 million or 2 million, it is not manageable. So can we go, is it possible to go through the all 10 million records and pick that customer, particular customer? For example, Srinu is came. Within 1 million record, there is a Srinu, one customer is there. He wanted to update his address. He wanted to change his address because he moved from another house, one rented house. So it's very difficult to go through these files, right? This flat file. He has to go through the 1 million records. It's very hectic. It's not at all possible. So the same way, there are some many limitations will be there. So once it is become day by day records are increasing, that is not manageable. if they are coming and asking to update their details, any customer, that is very difficult. So that's the reason in 1980s, Dr. E.F. Card, one author, he has developed the relational database management system. Relational database management system. So there are multiple relational database management systems available in market. The popular databases are Oracle, DB2, MySQL, MS SQL, like this. So that's the reason. That's the reason they have developed the. He is the scientist, computer scientist. So he analyzed this restrictions, difficulties, and drawbacks, everything. Then he has introduced this software. So now you understood, right? Why database is required. So we need everything should be captured for that account holder till their account has been dismissed, the account has been closed. We have to maintain the every account holder details till their account has disabled or dismissed or closed in that bank. So day by day, what will become the head count of the country? The head count of the country, people people count will be increased day by day, and they will open their bank accounts, and obviously the data of the bank will get increased. Then that is not manageable when it is comes to the flat files or comma separated files or CSV files. Let us take just one example. Let us take just one example. If you take, see, this is the Olympics data since from 1980 or something else. I think 2000. So there are around 23,000 records there. 23,000. See, if you see here, 27,000 records is there. 27,000. Sorry, 2,71,000 records are there since 2000 Olympics. So there is no rule. This time is came for one guy to the Olympics. Next time he should not come. There is no rule. The people trying for the Olympics, they can try many times. So this time one guy came. If you observe here, see same name. If you observe here, if you observe here, same name. If you observe here, same name. So what will happen? Every time he comes, if you are saving the data in this flat file, this is called flat file. Like this, if the people is come again, they will tell their name. It's very difficult you to search like this manually. 2,71,000 you have to search, and you have to find out that guy name, and you have to make one more entry related to that guy, or else you have to change the some fields based on he may change his address, he may come for another previously he came for kabaddi, this time he go for the football, like that. He may go for many sports, right? So it's very difficult to go like this and find out that guy. So and that is also the day by day what will become in 2030, it may increase 1 million records. 2030. So it's very difficult to manage, right? That's the reason database has been introduced. So now you know, right, why database is required in our day-to-day life. We need to track everything. Everything should be captured. Let us take example as a Aadhaar. Aadhaar. Government of India introduced one unique ID for each public person in country as a Aadhaar. If you take 130 crores of the 130 crores Aadhaar numbers they have to generate. So they have to maintain the database to store this all country details. They will get to know how many people public there. They wanted to see in one day they wanted to know how many public people are there in the Hyderabad or else Telangana state. How they can define if they doesn't have any like database? It's very difficult, right? So what they will do? So they will go to this other data center. They will collect the what and all Aadhaar belongs to the Telangana state. They will come to know this means the head count of the Telangana state of the people. Like that all over India. How many head count of the people is there? So in 2030, it may increase to 160 crores or some 190 crores or 250 crores like that. Again, they have to maintain. If they are maintaining the flat files, it's very difficult for them to maintain 130 crores records rows data in flat file. If they can't manage that files as well. That's the reason database has been introduced. Any doubts, guys, on the database perspective? Why database is required? Anyone is having any doubts? Okay, no doubts, then well and good. If we have also, we will discuss it. For example, don't think why I'm writing what I'm writing here. Just you can see. We will discuss these things again. Just I wanted to show you. Now, what is data? So data have multiple definitions. Let's see one by one. Let's see one by one. In generic way, I will tell first. Then we will go for the subjective perspective. Now, here, do we know what is this 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 is indicated or representing?
Serial number, sir.
Okay. Do we know what is this account and research? How do you
Department, sir.
know? See, by seeing this, can you understand what is this? It's not a serial number.
Departments.
Serial number means 1, 2, 3 like this. I can say it's not department. How do we assume that it's a department? Or else, what is this indicates? New York, Dallas. Or else, can we return just some JO something, one thing here, some ABCD something. Can we understand this format? What is 1, 2, 3? It may if you said it's a sequential number, I can say it's a student ID. I can say students learning this courses. So we can't assume what is this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 indicates, what is this account research sales indicates, and what is this location, this New York, Dallas, these all are the things indicates. So anything here, this is human does not understand this format, or else I will put A, B, C. A is one, A B is one field, and here I will put some SQL. Next to 2, comma, 2, comma. Again, I will write AB, again PLSQL. So does human can understand this format? So we can't indicate, right? What is that one? So anything, but system can understand this format. But system can understand this format. So anything which is understandable by the system is called the data. Anything which is understandable by the system is called data. Now, if I see this one, can human can understand this format now? Now we can easily understand what is this 1020 is indicates. We can say now it's a department. We can say it's a D name, department name. We can say this one is the location. So when we add these fields, so here a DEPT number is representing these values, D name representing these values, location is representing this value. So when we add this one, can human understand now? Can human understand now?
Yes, yes.
So anything which is understandable by the human is called as a anything which is understandable by the human is called as a information. Now this is information. Without having this fields, that is called data. Anything which is understandable by the system is called as a data. Anything which is understandable by the human is called as a information. So this is called, you know already till this one, system can understand. This is called a data. This is called data. So this is called metadata. What is metadata, guys? Data about the data is called as a metadata. Why we are telling data about the data? This is data. This is telling about this one. This is telling about this one. This DPT number is telling 10, 20, 30, about 20, 10, 30. It is called DPT number. Accounting, research and DNAME and operations SW software is representing to the DNAME. Then we know it is the department name. So data about the data is called as a metadata. This is called data, you know. So metadata plus data is called as a information. Metadata plus data is called as a information. So this is called metadata. This is called data, you know. So information means the human, anything which is understandable by the human is called as a, anything which is understandable by the human is called as a information. Metadata plus data is called as a information. Clear, guys? What is data? What is information? We can discuss.
Yes, yes, bro.
There are other definitions as well. We can discuss one by one. We can discuss one by one. So now this one we can discuss at last. Data. Anything and everything can be considered as a data. Anything and everything can be considered as a data. Anything and everything can be considered as a data. Or anything or everything can be considered as a data. Any information or fact can be considered as a data. Fact in the sense, for example, if you go to the facts, if you go to the facts is nothing but a raw data. If you go to the bookstall, there will be a multiple books, there will be a multiple prices, there will be a multiple publishers. For example, data, what is data? If you take one insurance company, so details related to the insurance. So insurance has to be store their employee details. They should store their employee details to provide access to their product, to log into the insurance portal and providing services to the customers, employees should be there. So initially the product insurance has to be maintain the data with their employees first, then their customers, then their products as well. If any customer should search about their product in net, it has to display. How the request will go to the database, this all we can discuss. This all we can discuss. So if the data is details related to the insurance company, like employees, customers, their product details, employee details, customer details, product details, or even their address of the data is called as a data. So details related to the employees of insurance company, customers, and products, everything is considered as a data. Data can be in any form, right? Like there is a images, like PDF files, there will be a documents like CSV files, text files, and videos, images, everything is a data. Okay. Next. So next, database. Database is collection of information that is organized. So if you want to fetch the data or retrieve the data from the database, that should be in the organized one format, right? To understand the user, to understand the employees, to understand those customers, everything. So database is a collection of information or collection of interrelated data. Interrelated means, for example, a customer table, their products tables. So those tables should be in the interrelated. I will show you. So database is a nothing but collection of interrelated data is called as a database that can be easily accessed, that can be easily managed, that can be easily updated. How the data store in the database? In the form of columns and rows. In the form of columns and rows. If you see here, these all are the columns, these all are the rows. That how the data is storing in the database, guys? This is one table format. Data is storing in the database in the table format. In the table format, in the rows and in the combination of columns and rows. So database is a collection of information that can be organized. How they will organize? Everyone should be easily accessed. Everyone should be easily managed. Everyone should be easily updated. That one. Like that way they have organized. Okay. See, database is a collection of information that is organized. That is organized. That can be easily accessed. That can be managed and updated. Data is organized into rows and columns and tables. Rows, columns, and tables. And indexed to make easier to find the relevant information. How to find the relevant information? By using some set of queries, set of rules, they have made it this database. How they have developed the database? Database is a collection of information that can be organized, or else database is a collection of interrelated data that can be organized. The way of the organization is easily can be accessed, easily can be managed, easily can be updated. The data is stored in the form of columns, rows, and tables in the database. So we can call it database is a container as well. What is the general meaning of container? Which store the large amount. So lorry container we will tell. So that can transfer lot of the things in at a time. That will have the capacity to hold the many things. So Why we will call it as a database is a container? It store the large amount of data. So container which filled the data or information which is electronically stored in the computer. So can in any form of store in the database. Even we can stored store the images as well in the database. We can discuss that one in the PLSQL. All companies use some sort of database to store their data. Why? For example, the company will be many, like they should have their employer details, they should have their employers, what is the package, everything they will is having. They should have their client details, they should have store many things, right? For every company they will maintain different databases. There are number of databases available in the market. The purpose of storing data is, why we store the data in the database, guys? To see, for example, there is a image and videos for your childhood onwards you are storing. Where you are storing? In your computer. In computer there is a hard disk, that is called database. Hard disk is a database. Why you are storing them? If you wanted to see them in the future, then you will store. The same way, if if you want to analyze the data in the future, if you want to utilize the data in the future, if you want to modify the records in the future, if you want to protect your information for the future, we will use the database. The purpose of storing the data in the database is easily should be accessed, easily they can able to modify, I mean update, easily they can protect the data. Protect means, if you store the data into the database in your schema or in our user, others cannot be accessible. Then if you want to analyze the data in the future, you can easily analyze to connect some BA tools. You can import that reports and you can analyze it. Next, next, application of DBMS. So databases are using banking sector for customer information, account activities, payments related, deposits, loans, etc. To provide these many services to the public, they are maintaining the banking sector. They are maintaining the database in the banking sector. For reservation and schedule information for the airlines, they are maintaining the database. For universities, why they are maintaining the database? They should they should maintain their student information, course registrations, colleges, and grades. For example, one student lost their mark sheets. The student has to be pay some reach to the university. I need some duplicate mark sheet which I have lost. So if they doesn't maintain their database, how they will give it to the how they will give it to the like how they will get to know how many marks that student has achieved and how they will give to the duplicate. That's the reason they should store their student information, course registrations, and colleges, grades, everything, universities. So telecom department, they have to maintain call records, monthly bills, and maintaining balances, etc. So finance sector use, sales sector use, manufacturing sector use the database, HR management use the database. See, these many sectors use the database. Without database, the database is itself is the world. The world should be maintained their database. In any sector, in day-to-day life, database is a very much required. That's the reason database is having a huge demand for the IT sector. Next, RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Our Oracle is the Relational Database Management System. Relational means interrelated. The data which you are storing in the database, that should be interrelated each other. So the Relational Database Management System is a program. System is a program that allows you to, the database should be allow you to create the create the, create the data. They can store the data. The RDBMS should be anyone should be allowed to anyone should be create the data, update the data, and whenever they require, they can fetch the data from the database. There are multiple RDBMSs is there in the world. The majority, all RDBMS use SQL is the common language. SQL is the common language. All databases are used. SQL is a common language to access the database. By using SQL, we can access the database. By using SQL, we can access the database. All relational database management system using the SQL to access their database. So there are some popular databases, MS SQL, MySQL, SQL Server, MS SQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, DB2. These all are the popular DBMS. Popular DBMS. Popular DBMS available in the many things available in the market. Anything available in the market. Okay. Next, I said how the data is storing in the database, guys, in the form of rows and columns for each table. RDBMS data stored in the how the data is storing in the database in the form of tables. Table is having the set of rows and columns. Data storing in the database in the tables. Table contain the set of rows and columns. Okay, I said relational database management system. Everything should be whatever there in the database should be interrelated. How it will be interrelated? If you see, this is the customer table. Customer ID, customer name, and age. This is the customer ID Mohan and age. This is the order ID table. This is the product ID table. So customer can order multiple items and multiple products. So we are maintaining the customer table 1 and order table 1 and product table 1. If you see relationship between customer and order ID table, what is the relationship, guys? If you see here, this is the relationship from customer ID to, so customer ID we have in the customer table under order ID table. If I want to know which customer is ordered, how many orders, and for the day how many orders. So by using link up the name of the customer and order means I can join these two tables and I can get the data. So this is the relation. I said RDBMS means relational database management system. Every table should have a relation. See here one table, this is one table. See this one table, second table, third table. Third table is having the relationship for first table and second table. Third table is having the some fourth table, here fifth table. See, one table can have one relationship, one table can have multiple relations, one to many relations. See here, this table is having with respect to one, it is having only one to one relationship with the three. With respect to two, it is having many relationships. See, one is having relationship, two is having relationship, four is having relationship, five is having relationship. So that's the reason the database is a interrelated database. Store the interrelated data. The data how it will store in the form of tables. Table can have multiple rows and columns. Like that way, data store. Everything should be interrelated. If you see product, see this is the relationship. We will explain you how to build this relationship now. See here, So every table is having relationship, right? So I will take another 5 minutes to complete, guys. Else, can we continue tomorrow? Okay, just 5 minutes. This SQL is different across the RDBMS. This is the majority of people is having doubts. So there are popular. My MS SQL belongs to the Microsoft. PostgreSQL is belongs to the Postgre company. Oracle is belongs to the Oracle Corporation. DB2 is some other company. MySQL is some other company. So SQL is the common language for this all databases. Yeah, the functionality wise, everything is the same. There are some 1 to 2% of the syntax change for these databases. If you learn one database, so you can easily understand other databases. You can work as well. There is much difference, only 1 or 2 difference with respect to the syntaxes. The syntaxes you can manage. For every database is having a one set of tools. In tool itself, it will raise, if you write any syntax, it will raise one red mark under the syntax. You can change accordingly. So the SQL is a common for all these languages. If you learn the SQL, it will be applicable to the all databases, and you can work on every database. Okay, that's all for today's session, guys. If you have any doubts, I will take it up. From tomorrow, we can go to the actual subject. What is SQL? What is type of objects and the data types? Everything we will go from tomorrow. I am ready to take up your questions now.
Sir, can you provide material for every class, sir?
Like we will discuss in the class notes. So I will try to provide the notes as well, material as well.
Okay.
Running class notes we will provide. You can note it that notes like this we will write it.
Okay.
You see notepad
Okay,
plus
bro.
see like this. What is character? What is lower? What is substier? Like this we will provide the notes. L trim what it will do, R trim what it will do. Like this class notes. I will provide the material as well. I am building that material. Any doubts? Tomorrow we will, guys, and one more thing I forget to tell you. I will upload the, if anyone need this recorded session, I will upload into my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel name is Venky Tech Solutions. All free sessions I will upload here. YouTube channel. You can go and you will get the like June batch, advanced SQL PLSQL June batch, one playlist I will create. I will upload those things in the YouTube channel. If you have other questions, this is my mobile number. You can contact me either WhatsApp or either call if you have other doubts. Okay. If you need this recorded session, you can go to the YouTube channel and you can check in that YouTube channel playlist. Then you will get to know there. You will get all the recorded sessions there. Any other doubts, guys? I will show you. Venky Tech Solutions. Go here. So if you go to the playlist, so here SQL Advanced Training April batch. SQL Advanced Planning Calendar. So I will create one more playlist. SQL PLSQL Advanced Training June batch. you can go that playlist and you can play it, whatever you need. All these free sessions will be uploaded into the YouTube. Any other doubts, guys? What is database? Why database is required? What is information? How the data store into the databases? Any doubts? If no doubt, we are good to close.